You are never prepared for a mission. So if you think that you have read the scriptures enough, um, you haven't.
No.
It doesn't. It's about where you're at in your heart. Like, are you willing to accept? I actually don't know as much about the gospel as I think I do. And if you're saying like, oh well, if I don't go on a mission, I'm still a good person. That's not why you go on a mission. Like, if you think you're going on a mission to become a good person,
How selfish is that?
I want to throw
The girl, bro.
dude.
Leave her. Drop her. Get her.
Break up with your girlfriend.
Okay, wait. Is this where you're going?
Well, just like
Yeah, I
yes,
could freaking rant about this.
but we'll just bring us in. Are you ready?
Yep.
Alrighty, welcome back to He's the Goat podcast. Is this episode 5?
It'll be 5.
Episode 5, baby. Episode 5. We spent Christmas together. How was New Year's, bro?
It was good, man. Good. Family up here is cool. So it was
Sweet.
good. I mean, I just love hanging out with family either. And feel kind of lucky because I got such a cool family up here. But
Yeah, dude. Yeah, same with I hung out with my wife's family as well, and it was just like it was fun. It's fun having good family. Dang,
yes.
dude, we could do there's a segue we could go into, bro.
Write it down, bro.
The importance of good I know. Importance of good families. All right, well, in height of recent controversy, just kidding. There's no controversy. We're not that big yet. There will be probably one day. We want to talk a little bit about missions, missionary work, working with the good Lord.
Yes. Tips and tricks, brother.
Tips and tricks. We wanted to talk about tips. I don't even know where to go with this because there's tips and tricks of before you go on a mission, tips and tricks of why you're on a mission, and then tips and tricks about after your mission, how to come back and adapt to being a freaking human. Was that hard for you?
Bro, I think I have this thing where it's like I don't recognize how hard it is until I'm out of it.
Yeah, culture
So,
shock.
right. I think I have this thing. I think
There's just one thing that's unique to me.
But it's like when I get somewhere really uncomfortable, I don't know how much uncomfort I'm feeling until I'm out of that situation. Yeah, no, it was uncomfortable. I mean, just as uncomfortable as it was going on a mission.
Yeah.
Or probably even more. Well,
Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
Well, okay. Yeah, it is uncomfortable. But as far as tips and tricks goes, life's uncomfortable. So I don't really know. There's no tips or tricks to get around that. So if you're a missionary that's getting ready to go or thinking about going, and you're listening to this podcast, you're probably way too bored, to be honest. But if you're worried about feeling uncomfortable, that's just part of life. Like, think about anything you've gone through that's new. You're going to feel uncomfortable. Just kind of get over that. That's the first tip I would say there.
Yeah, that's the thing though. I don't think people go through enough uncomfortable experiences before they go on a mission. For me, really, I mean, like I played basketball, I like played in games. There was like uncomfort with like maybe the stress of going to school, but the mission it was the first like hard thing I did with my life. And yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's we can go somewhere with that, but I do realize looking back, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of embarrassing actually that was the first thing uncomfortable I did. I was 18 years old.
Yeah. 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 So I think the first thing I really want to talk about that was on my mind, it's been on my mind since I was a missionary. I'm sure I wrote about it in a journal somewhere, but um, you are never prepared for a mission. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You are never prepared for a mission. So if you think that you have read the scriptures enough, um, you haven't.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, if you think that you understand the temple,
You don't.
that's I would even say that's pride a little bit there. Like there's some pride you're dealing with where you're like, I've read the scriptures enough. I understand the temple. It's like, hey, buddy, that's called pride. You don't you don't get rid of those things. I would say like those first two things, just completely get rid of them. I know a lot of missionaries come out of the mission and like that's those are things they say like I did my home teaching. I went to the temple. I read the scriptures enough. I went to seminary. I graduated seminary. I read all of it. I didn't lie on any of it. I actually tried on the assessments and I did my Eagle Scout. Like they have like this list of things that they accomplished, and then they get a companion that was a gang member before he became a missionary, and that dude's like way more spiritual than they are, and they can't figure out why.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's go ahead.
No, no, you continue the story.
Well, and it's because they don't. It's because they thought they were good enough.
Yeah. Yeah,
How,
and then here's the deal. We are, of course, we are not saying that don't worry about those things. It's gonna suck either way. Like that's not really what we're saying. Don't worry about those things. It's gonna suck
yes,
either way. But it's like you need to recognize it's gonna suck, period. How well do you want to be uh, equipped to handle it? Like you know
yes,
what I mean?
yes, yeah, exactly. Thanks for summing that up. Like, I'm not saying like go do whatever you want before your mission because you'll be fine on your mission. No, no, because I also knew gang members that went on a mission. They really struggled, or not gang members, or people that dealt drugs or did drugs or whatever, and then they really struggled on a mission, right?
Or literally just didn't get over like didn't get over their past. It doesn't have to be drug dealing.
Yeah,
Didn't you know what I mean?
yeah. So it doesn't. It's about where you're at in your heart. Like, are you willing to accept? Like, I actually don't know as much about the gospel as I think I do. Because
Right.
when kids go on a mission and they're like, I did mission prep, I know how to do this, I've done all the lessons, I know all these things, da 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 da. You gotta make noise while you're doing those things so the camera jumps to you. It's just me laughing at myself. But no, like seriously, you're probably the most unequipped or ill-equipped for a mission
Yeah.
to think that you know. So tip number one is just like just be can you just be humble? Like just be humble about it. It
Yeah.
makes your experience way better.
Rule number freaking one. You're there to learn, not to teach. No,
Yeah.
I'm just joking. That's not
I
true.
mean,
You're there to teach.
I was
But
gonna say I actually have kickback against that, but
I don't mean I didn't mean like actually your job like going into it, you're there to learn and there's a balance. Anyway, what's the kickback though?
well, I just don't like okay. Here's another tip and trick. I would say if you're thinking about going on a mission, but maybe you don't want to go on a mission and you're trying to figure out how to justify not going on a mission, which you had some experience with that a little bit, right? And if you're saying like, oh well, if I don't go on a mission, I'm still a good person. That's not why you go on a mission. Like if you think you're going on a mission to become a good person,
How selfish is that?
yes, right? Like I'm just going on a mission to become a good person. You're
That's
missing the mark there as
this
well.
is that's why the church wants me to go on a mission to become a good person. That's why my mom and dad want me to go on a mission to become a good person. It's like, no, that is not why you are asked to go on a mission.
Yes. Yes. Can we do have scriptures here? Where's here?
I mean, I got my phone.
Let me pull up my phone. I just want to do. I actually haven't. We might have to edit this out because I don't. I'm real time. I'm trying to think of. I know vaguely off the top of my head like why Jesus wanted his apostles to go on a mission, on missions two by two. Um, but it definitely wasn't because Jesus was like, "You guys are the greatest people,
No.
therefore go
Or
preach."
or like you guys because of this mission are going to become the greatest people. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking here real quick. Uh, Matthew 10:5 through 15. Let me see if I can go there real quick. Sorry if you're watching and we don't edit this out. I apologize.
Keep it real. We got 30 hours, dude.
Yeah, we got 30 hours of let's see, dude. Matthew 10:5 through 15. Um, sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right. And I think it's kind of a tough beginning there, going out to the Gentiles and Samaritans. We do know that changed eventually. There's a lot that can go into that. But I think verse 6 is it, Matthew 10:6. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. So I love that. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. That that's what a mission is. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. You had something?
I kind of forgot my train of thought, but it is true. Like, and that's a good tip. You're not, so don't act like you know enough, because you don't. Don't act like you're going out there to become a good person, because that's not why. You need to act like you're it needs to be the most selfless thing you have done thus far.
Yes. Go be prepared to be a servant of God.
Period. And end of story. And do what the scriptures tell you to do. Do what your leaders tell you to do. That's the freaking point.
So right now I've talked a lot about like what what not to do, right? Here's a big what to do. This is one thing that you can do. Like I'm telling you, you can't read your scriptures enough. I'm saying you should try. You can't read your scriptures enough.
Yeah, you should read your scriptures every day,
You should read them as much as you possibly can.
but don't act like don't think of it as like I'm gonna be ready for the mission field.
Yeah. It's like, no, you're reading scriptures because you know you're not ready and you never will be ready. So you better get as possibly like good as you can,
Yeah. Yeah.
if that makes sense. Um, but the one thing you can do that you actually can do is you can be worthy enough. That would
True.
be my biggest tip to go. Like you can be worthy enough to go on a mission. What does that mean? For some youth, some of you guys, you got to go repent to your bishop. And guys, just freaking do it. Like it's
Yeah.
not that deep. It's not
Yeah.
that deep. It's like 6 months. What's a year? And I don't even think you're not even gonna see a year. Anyways, just repent. Just do it.
Yeah. And yes, it's like hard to like go to another person and be like, I need to let you know my worthiness. Like it's hard, that's hard to do. But man up, just freaking do it. Listen to your advisors on how they tell you to strap in, and then freaking strap in and get on a mission. It's
Yeah.
fine, dude. It's fine.
Yeah.
The world is not like, oh my gosh, can't he can't go on a mission for 6 months. Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah. And
You're not. It's not that deep.
dude, let me go on a quick anti-bug here. Antis try to tell you that that's how they see you. You know who the most bigoted members of the church are that see you as a sinner when you have to repent? Those who have left the church.
Future Exmos.
Future Exmos. Future Exmos hold your sins against you even after they've left the church. They'll be like, what kind of bishop is that? I know things he's done. You're not even a member of the church. Why do you care? You don't care. Why do you care? Right?
Yeah.
Like, anyways, sorry, that's my little, I don't want to go too much in anti stuff, but the most bigoted members that are going to hold you like, be like, you're this because you had to repent or you couldn't go on your mission exactly when you turned 18 or right when you graduated. Those guys are future Exmos. That's all they are.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, let's stop talking about that because we will get on too much of a rant. Because one quick thing. It's just unreal to me that that in order to figure out how to navigate good and bad, they just say, "Oh, everything's up for grabs. There's no good and bad." Like, is that really how you're gonna cope with making bad decisions?
With making bad choices. Dude, I
Like,
saw a video. I saw a video today, and this girl was like trying. Sorry, we're gonna go for a little bit here, but this girl was like trying to She said how to heal childhood traumas or something like that. And she has a cup of yeah,
Oh,
she has a cup of water, bro.
no, hold on. Tim Dillon on Joe Rogan podcast one time said, "Don't," and he's a comedian, and he goes,
Uh-huh.
"Don't talk about PTSD or trauma unless you've been to war." And I literally, I'm like, stop
Dude,
talking
yes,
about your
dude. And
trauma.
another tough thing that when you mention things like this is people will look at guys like me and you and they'll be like, you guys have never even experienced hardship. And it's like, all right. And it's like, all right, like I'm not. What do you want me to do? You want me to trauma dump on you?
Yeah, that's when I say we're done having this conversation.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
okay. So when you're preparing for a mission, let's just square this away. You you will never be prepared enough. Therefore, prepare as much as possible, knowing you'll fall short. I don't know how. I don't know if that doesn't give people. Maybe that makes people feel uncomfortable, whatever it may be. But that's just the fact of it, right? Like,
Look,
go ahead.
like it's the fact about life. Like,
Yes.
oh, you're thinking about marrying this girl, but you don't think you're prepared. Well, freaking shut up and prepare yourself as much as you can. And when she's ready, drop the freaking knee, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
Buy the diamond.
yeah,
Ask her to marry you.
get the ring,
Get it.
ask her
Get
to
it.
marry you.
Yeah. This is yes, and that's that. I'd say that I would say that's a mission like
As
that.
if you're gonna be prepared for a hard thing. It's like it's hard because you don't have the tools to handle it yet.
Okay. Now we're going into what I wanted. This is I like the segue here, right? So Ammon, when he went on his mission, I'm in Alma 17. If you want to
I
follow
love
along,
that guy, dude.
dude. Yeah, Ammon, what a guy.
Alma
So
17. Wait. Alma 17.
Alma 17. I'm on verse 23. Now, I want you guys to, if you're on a mission and you're watching this, you'll probably be able to relate to this a little bit because it's how it feels sometimes. But when Ammon got to his first area, he got uh he got attacked and then he got beat up and then he got tied up and then he got thrown in front of the king. Now, people don't understand. Ammon is the son of the Nephite king and he got thrown in front of one of the princes of the Lamanite royalty, right? So these
Yeah.
are like enemies. This would be
Yeah.
like in medieval times if the French king's son got thrown in front of the Prince of England's feet during war, like at a time of war,
Yeah, because
right?
they
So
were always at war with the
because they were
Nephites.
always at war, they're always French, well, and also the Lamanites and the
Right,
Nephites.
right, right, right.
Yeah, so they throw Ammon there after they beat him up. So he probably doesn't like this. So if you go on a mission, guess what? That first couple of weeks, you're gonna feel like you're getting beat up, like just emotionally, physically, not physically.
Physically.
I mean, you'll be walking around, you'll be tired, but not actually beat up. Don't worry. But you will feel spiritually kind of beat and
You will, and physically, you will be like really
tired,
tired.
and yeah, tired. Your legs will hurt.
Your
Whether you're
mind will be
biking,
tired.
yeah, your
Your
mind will be tired. It's a grind.
especially
It's a
yes, it's a
freaking
freaking grind, and
grind, bro.
it literally makes me like,
Dude, it makes me
oh,
it makes me excited. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
dude.
dude, I love greenies. Like they get in, they're like, let's freaking go, and then they're smoked after 1 week,
And
and you're like,
then they're like,
I
hey, don't take me out.
don't
Coach.
worry. I can still take them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So Ammon gets beat, right? Thrown in front of the king. King goes, "What the crap are you doing here?" I guarantee the king knew who he was. And so the king,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I guarantee the king knew who he was.
Yeah.
He's the son of Mosiah. Anyways,
Yeah.
so then the king, and I would say this was nothing but mockery. Like I think he was making fun of Ammon. In verse 22, he asks him, it says, the king inquired of Ammon if it was his desire to dwell in the land among the Lamanites. Right? So they
Yeah.
just beat the snot out of him, tied him up like in a weird way, probably, and threw him in front of the king. And they're like, "Hey, bro, you want to live here? Do you want to freaking live here?" And what does Ammon say? He goes, "Actually, yes. I desire to dwell among this people for a time, yea, and perhaps until the day I die." So Ammon was like, "Actually, I would like to live here forever. Like if I could, I settle down, raise my children here. Like I
Yeah.
love you." Lamanites.
Yeah, like I'm not there yet. Of like, I don't know you guys yet. I don't know Lamanite culture. I there's probably a dialect thing going on.
Yeah, probably a language
No,
barrier.
I don't know, and this is uncomfortable, but I will live here maybe till the day that I die. Like I'm not leaving.
Yeah. His plan was to stay there. Now, I think I told you this when you were on your mission. I don't know where you were at,
Maybe.
but I know I've told Decker this. But elders, when you get to your mission, I don't care where you're serving. If you're serving in Mississippi, if you're serving in freaking Alabama, if you're serving in Russia, if you're serving in France, or if you're in Central and South America, the place you're in, you need to get it through your head that it is the greatest place in the world. And you need to get it through your head. I'm willing. Elders, you don't know. Can I? You don't know. Okay. You don't know. What if the second coming, now this is just me being crazy, right? But what if the second coming happens while you're on your mission? Do you think we're going to be able to get all the missionaries back?
Uh,
No.
no,
You know,
no.
go ahead.
Do you? I don't even care about the second coming. You could literally, it, yeah.
A
If you're in
global
another country,
pandemic. A global
that's what
pandemic.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And God comes in clutch, and thankfully we have you back because it got
Yeah.
close there for a
Yeah.
second. But oh, dude, you would have been so down
I would have been so hyped.
if you got stuck there.
Kept me in my mission for till now. Other than the fact that I wouldn't have been able to meet my wife, that would have sucked.
Right, that would suck. That would suck.
But yeah, so elders, or priests right now, when you're going on a mission, you need to get it through your head. Like, and my mom's gonna be mad at me for saying this, but if you go serve in El Salvador, guess what the greatest country in the world is for those 2 years?
El
El
Salvador,
Salvador,
baby.
baby.
El freaking Salvador, baby.
El Salvador.
Guess what? Guess what the best language in the world is in El Salvador?
Soccer. No, go.
Soccer.
And the best language in the world is Spanish, bro.
Freaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Until you find yourselves in the mountains, and then what?
Then it's an indigenous language up there, bro. Then
Indigenous
that's the greatest
language,
language
bro.
ever.
Yeah.
Dude, and own it. There's so many Americans that go on their missions to other countries and they're just like, it never in the United States. No, I can't.
Yeah, what the F? What the F are they thinking?
Yeah, get over yourself,
You're
bro.
not in the United States.
And you're a servant of God.
I'll tell you this. If you serve in Alabama, you can't say, "Oh, this would never happen in the West." You just those words, the thought. You should train yourself so well that the thought never crosses your mind.
Yes, dude. Yeah, I don't care if you like. I love Arizona. People don't know how much I love Arizona. But if I had to serve my mission in Mississippi, guess what the greatest state in the United States of America is?
Mississippi, baby.
It's a freaking sippy, bro. Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah, our little brother's in Texas right now. You know how much Texas merch that guy has? Because he's just like
even better. You know how much UT merch that guy has?
Because that's where he's serving.
He's not just in Texas.
Yeah.
He's in Austin, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And he loves he's like, we argue with him. We're like, dude, Arizona's better. He's like, hey, I don't know.
Right? Yeah, like, literally ASU went against UT and lost. And Decker literally on the call was like, yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Arizona, but sorry.
Hey, he was like, horns up, baby. And I was
like, oh. Yeah, bro.
But dude, when I was in Guatemala, when I had finally understood this part, I read these verses and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be here till I die. Like, I'm counting down the days to go home.
Right.
And it took me months. This isn't a quick transition. It took me months to finally be like I genuinely believed Guatemala is the best country and I still am there.
Yeah.
It's the best
Well,
country on earth.
right, right.
Like this is when I came back to America, I was like, man, you guys freaking what do you even need a fries in a Walmart that big for? You guys don't know
Yeah, dude.
life. You don't know how to be happy. Bro, you don't you don't understand, bro. Because I was like,
Yeah.
Guatemala is where life is, bro.
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
is in Guatemala. It's like,
Yeah, bro.
I know you had a similar experience, and you were in Curacao. He was in your mission. What was it called again?
Yeah. Okay, I got a couple things I'd like to say. Because first, so I moved around a lot in my mission to literally different countries. And so by the end of my mission, and through a hard experience and humbling experiences with the wisdom of my companions and the members and everywhere, I had to buy in over and over and over to
Yeah,
different cultures, learn different languages, and talk like enjoy the differences in culture. So first I started in South Texas, and I was like super down for Spanish. And you came home singing your Spanish.
yeah.
And so I was like, I'm gonna freaking learn it like that, dude. I get down to South Texas. That Spanish is 50% English, first off. We would be in conversations and I would understand because they would literally just throw in English words, like English
Yeah,
verbs, and then say the Spanish object. And whenever they wanted to, they were just blah, 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 and I always thought, this is so stupid. Stick to English, stick to Spanish, until I realized, no, 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 no.
yeah,
No, bro.
yeah.
I am the one
There it is.
who needs to strap in and learn Tex-Mex, bro.
Yeah,
I That was my job. And I wasn't there for that long, but there was cadences that I could hit because I was like, no, this is the best kind of Spanish ever. It's
yeah,
like fun, it's like all these things. And then I go to the Caribbean and no one's on time. All these things. I'm like, the language, I thought I was going to speak more Spanish, but then it turned out to be Papiamento. Had to
yeah.
learn a whole nother language. And it was just like constantly these changes. And it wasn't until after a year in, I went down to Guyana where they spoke English now. Crappy. Sorry, I shouldn't say crappy. I love that English. And you know how much I love that English.
Yes, yeah. I know. I'm vouching for him because you tried to
Yeah.
speak it. You tried to speak it for like the first week back from your mission. You just always try to say things, and we'd be like, "Bro, like we don't understand what you're saying, bro."
And you're like, I just like I freaking love it. I don't want to lose it. But anyway, and then I came back and I fell in love with Guyana. Like fell hard for Guyana. And then I came back to the islands and I was like, I'm gonna speak Spanish, Spanish, Spanish. I wanted to speak like you spoke, but they were speaking Papiamento.
Yeah,
And my companion sits me down and he's like, Elder, and we were good friends. We were the MTC together, and now we were zone leaders. So we were supposed to be like
top
yeah,
tier elders.
top tier missionaries or whatever. But he sat me down and bro, that's what I thought he dude, I freaking love that guy, Luke Robinson. He sat me down and he was like, Elder Anderson, the most compassionate thing you can do from this time forward, because I wasn't going back to Guyana. He said the most compassionate thing you can do for this from this time forward is forget about Spanish and learn Papiamento.
Yeah,
And it's giving me cold chills right now just thinking about it because I remember it hitting me like a ton of bricks.
yeah,
Like not only can I put it to the side, like I can't put it to the side, forget about it.
yeah,
Use it when you need it, but don't study Spanish. You're studying Papiamento for an hour a day, nothing else.
yeah, dude. I had there was an AP when I first got to the mission. Funny enough, he's this tall, scrawny white dude with glasses from Colorado. His name
Bro,
was
my guy
Jaden.
was from Colorado too, bro.
Yeah, his name was Jaden Smith, which I thought was funny. I thought that was really funny that his name was Jaden Smith.
Call up
Oh,
call up his boy JB, bro.
Yeah, dude, Elder Smith he spoke a very beautiful Spanish. And I remember there's these stories about him that people like a lot of the Americans would get mad at him about. He wanted to speak nothing but Spanish for like a year. Like no matter what, he only wanted to speak Spanish. And there was this white guy that came to the church office building and he needed help with something. And Elder Smith was just speaking to him in Spanish, and the guy was like, "I just want your help for like, I just got to know like, is there a phone?" And the way that the other Americans portrayed it, it sounded like Elder Smith was a jerk.
Uh-huh.
I guarantee it wasn't that big of a problem. And Elder Smith was like, "I'm not giving up my Spanish streak for helping you with a phone." So he only spoke to him in Spanish. And the guy was like, "Don't
Uh,
you speak English?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, but like I speak Spanish." He said in Spanish, he's like, "Sí, sí, sí, pero solo español." And so the guy was like, "Why?" And he ended up going to get a Latino elder that knew a little bit of Spanish and brought him there and said, "Hey, elder, can you talk to this guy?" And said, "Now that could be folklore, that could be myth. That's just what I heard, right?" Because for elders were trying to diss on him, but like that's how much he genuine that's how much he loved the language that he was like, no, I'm a Guatemalan. Like I used to always say that I'm a Guatemalan and I'm sorry, but in America that's the only place that people get offended by things like that. I would say I'm a Guatemalan, and in Guatemala they would throw
Love
parties when
it.
white people said that.
Yeah.
They loved it. You'd be like, oh, yo soy de Dolores. That was my Dolores was my first area. I'd be like, I'm from Dolores, and they'd be like, no, you're not from Dolores. I'm like, yeah, and I'd start telling them the streets and everything. I'd tell them the house I was born in, which is just the house I started my mission in. And they would always be like, they'd be like, oh, wait, he might be from Dolores, but like his Spanish isn't that good. And I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm still white, but I'm from Dolores. Like, and it was just like,
That's
but
awesome.
so I would just say like, um, Ammon, Ammon's first thing was that it was I'm gonna live here forever. Now what was Ammon's first temptation? I guess you could say on his mission.
Uh, Getting a wife.
Yes, right. So I want to throw
The
this out there,
girl, bro.
dude,
Leave her. Drop her.
dude.
Forget her.
Break break up with your girlfriend, bro.
Okay, wait. Is this where you're going?
Well, just like
Because I
yes,
could
like
freaking rant about this, bro.
I'm just yes. Go ahead, rant on it, bro.
Oh, yeah. No, you go.
I'm just saying break up with your girlfriend or at bare minimum forget about her. Like just forget that she exists. Assume you'll never see her again. I know that sounds terrible,
You
but like
might, the second coming might come and you might get stuck in halfway across the country or in another country. Okay? So, sorry, brother. She is not in your life anymore right now.
dude, there's nothing worse. At least when I was on a mission, there was nothing worse than having a companion that like couldn't focus on contacting because he was thinking about the letter he wanted to write to his girlfriend that night
Yes.
about how beautiful the landscape was.
Yes, bro. Okay. And then, dude, oh, I loathe elders like that because I was one of them.
Yeah, no,
I
yes, I
loathe.
was too for the first little bit. And I got lucky enough my girlfriend broke up with me. Like I that was a huge blessing. But oh, go ahead. You loathe
Look,
it.
okay, yes. This is all I'm gonna say. F- First off, for you're in high school right now. You're either in high school right now, or you're on your mission, or you're off your mission. If you thought you had a chance to like that she'd wait for you, you're dumb. First off, not because she didn't love you,
Yeah. Nope.
but because it is not her responsibility to wait for you.
Yeah, it's unfair
It's absolutely unbelievably unfair to ask a girl in high school
to tank her
to
social life.
to wait until you get home to think other guys are cute, to go on dates, to kiss people. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a huge ask, and you it's a selfish ask.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rude. You're trying to make
It's
this girl
terrible.
tank her social life. You know how many girls want to hang out with a girl that won't talk to any guys at all?
Yeah. Like we can't take her out anywhere because she's got this guy on a mission. That's
Yeah,
not
and
even,
she's
she's not even
and
gonna
she's
wait
like
for her.
and she's like rude to other guys,
Right.
and so those guys don't really want to like. Don't do it. Don't do it to her. Don't
Don't
do that.
freaking do
Just
it. Okay.
be
So
nice
yeah.
and,
So that's
and
one
break up with her.
thing. If you respect the girl that you're asking that you can see yourself marrying, th for you need to stop sending her emails. You need to cut it off. You need to say how much you love her, and then silence on the Eastern Front, brother.
Yes, on the
Silence.
Eastern Front.
Yeah. Silence, dude. It should be radio silent.
Yeah, and another thing is like if it worked out for you where you ended up with the girl that you started with or whatever it may be, and she did wait for you and all that worked, that's awesome.
That's
And
great.
that's a really cool love story. And like I don't want to say that that was wrong. I'm happy you guys ended up together.
No.
Genuinely, but the chances of that are so small. And you talk to those couples, and it wasn't like a fun experience.
No.
Wasn't an experience that they were like, "This is great." It was a difficult experience.
Terrible.
It was a
It's
difficult
terrible.
experience.
The thing, and also this is how selfish it is. You are out on the mission, and like me, I coasted for 18 months enjoying the mission while still having my P-Day like girlfriend talking time.
Yeah,
I coasted. Do you know how I could do that? How I could put the phone down Monday night and not talk to her for the rest of the week? You know how I could do that? Because I was doing something great. And there was purpose weaved into the schedule of my life, and I didn't have to do anything for that. I just had to
yeah,
show up.
yeah,
She is back home trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life. And you're going to ask her to to it's just like to do that without like I don't
yeah.
know because one thing is Wood and Shayla they waited for each other.
That's our uncle and our aunt, by the way.
Our uncle and our aunt, they waited for each other. But she was a collegiate
Basketball player.
athlete for
Yeah,
2 years. That's what she was doing.
yeah,
And she still went on dates, but she was at Cal State Fullerton.
yeah,
She wasn't looking for Cal State Fullerton guys.
yeah,
They weren't showing up. That
yeah,
like girls that they or that guys that she wanted to hang out with and date seriously weren't showing up. And part of me that and I'm not speaking for their experience, but part of me recognizes like, oh, Wid was on a mission. She, Shayla, was a collegiate athlete.
yeah,
That's how it worked. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, dude. Another thing that I would say that's a huge, if you're an older brother, especially, I would say is huge. Even if you're a younger brother and you have wayward brothers that are older, or maybe brothers that are just older, because I get emails from my brothers and I love it all the time. Like it's huge. It's my favorite part of the week is when my little brothers email me. But when I cut ties with my girlfriend that I left at home, she actually cut ties with me. Like I said, it was a blessing. Um, then I started writing letters to you.
Right.
I didn't have anyone else to write letters to.
Right.
I started writing letters to you. I started writing more letters to mom. I started writing more letters to dad. I started
Started
thinking about my family during the
started
week.
write it in your journal more
Writing
about
in my
not
journal, I started
a
writing
girl.
about yes, about my family. I started really thinking about like who are the people at home that I can have a positive effect on instead of what should I write my girlfriend about? Like, what are the beautiful things that are happening here?
Yeah.
So get rid of the girl,
Yeah, get rid of her.
just get rid of her. And when you get to your mission, don't even think about, don't even think about a girl in the mission that you're serving.
Oh.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. It's terrible. Follow Ammon's example. He got,
Oh,
guys,
dude.
can you think about this as well? The king or queen of any society basically gets to marry the most attractive person that they can find, or a cousin, which is weird,
Right, right,
right?
right.
But I don't think, at least in my imagination, Ammon was being offered an ugly female. I don't think that's why he said no. And think about the logistics of this. Ammon was being offered a princess, and he was
Of
a prince. He
yeah.
could have easily created a treaty. Logically, it could have been, he could have created an incredible bond that would have had a profound blessings and
And yeah,
profound,
it would have healed politics in
yeah,
the area. Yeah.
yeah, it would have united nations, right? I don't care how good you think it is, you and that girl on your mission that you flirt with. I don't care how you're like, wait, but if I did this, then it works out well because of this. It will not work out as well as you being a servant of God.
Yeah.
It will not work out as well as you being a servant of God. Ammon decided, I will be a servant to you, teach the gospel. And then what happened? The nations united in a way that never happens ever again before or after in Book of Mormon history
No.
because he simply taught the gospel and just forgot about the girl and moved on. Anyways,
It,
go ahead.
he literally created the the holiest group of people in the Americas.
Yeah,
Like he was the guy that brought the anti-Nephi Lehi's back into the fold. And then throughout the rest of the Book of Mormon, the Lamanites were always more righteous than the Nephites. The
yeah.
anti-Nephi Lehis were always more righteous than the Nephites. Like if you thought it like, but this is gonna be this is good somehow. It's like, yeah, you have no freaking clue
How good
what
the
you're.
other road's going to be. You know the story of the 2000 stripling warriors?
Yes, I do.
Where does that come from? Who are their parents? Who's the guy that taught their parents?
Ammon taught their parents. Ammon taught their parents. They were the anti-Nephi Lehi's, bro. They literally gave their lives because they made a covenant with God and they weren't going to break the covenant.
Yeah. If Ammon would have just decided, I'm going to freaking go after this girl, I can almost guarantee we don't even get to 2000 stripling warrior story. It doesn't happen.
And and Ammon had a much better reason to
To,
stop being a missionary and take the girl.
and take the girl. Way better
You
reason.
have you have zero reason.
You don't have good reason, bro. You don't have a good
I
reason.
don't care. I don't care if it's a girl in the area. I don't care if it's a sister, especially if it's a sister. I don't care. So
So I guess this has just been us harping a little bit on those kind of things. Leave the girl, da da da, the girl, whatever. That I think it's so big because people just they're really frustrating about it. But
yes.
um, things that you can do on a mission, tips and tricks to do on a mission. Guys, it's simple. The mission is simple. Get up on time. Only call home as much as you're supposed to call home. Read your scriptures every single day and love your companion. But like those are the four things that I'm just like, if you do those four things, I don't care how much you hate your companion. I don't care how much you wish you could call home longer. I don't care how much you have already read your scriptures, and I don't care how tired you are. If you do those four things, nítido.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what moms would say. You'll be okay. It'll be great. You have an awesome mission.
Yeah.
Oh man, can we talk post mission real quick? We might have to cut this into like more than one video, but little
Sure.
part
I mean, we
part two
could,
action. Just
sure.
post the whole thing up. Why not? Um, post mission, dude. I have one thing I want to say about post missions. Um, that I wish someone would have told me.
Can,
Maybe go
can
ahead.
I can I guess what that is?
Yes.
That that temptations you had before the mission.
Oh, that's not what I was gonna say, but yes.
Well, then
Go
we'll
ahead.
save
Finish
that.
it. Finish it. No, finish it.
Well, you said to me, Kat, the temptations you had before the mission will get thrown at you, and they will be 10 times harder when you get back
When you get
and you
back.
start living on your own. They will
Yeah.
be 10 times harder.
Yep.
And I remember you said that, and I was like, I don't think so. And then I
and then
got
you
back
get
from my
home.
mission.
Yeah, then you get home and you're like, what the frick? This is
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
And you're sitting there like, I freaking told you, bro.
Dude, I tried to warn you, but it's okay. No, dude, I wish someone would told me this. Listen, when you were a missionary, you were probably a motivational speaker. Like people listened to you and they lost their minds. Like you could speak with the spirit. Like you probably really were a very motivating speaker and you could express yourself well and people listened to you and followed you. People probably paid attention to what you said. They probably paid attention to what you were trying to teach them and you probably felt the spirit all the time. Those are great things. And they're things that are worth remembering and worth talking about to your other companions, to your other missionary buddies. If you had a zone conference that was crazy and you felt the spirit and it was awesome, only talk about that with your buddies. Okay? Do not bring it up at freaking what's that place in Utah? That's the Mexican place that everyone goes to. It's like it's down University Rancheritos.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Don't bring it up at Rancheritos at 1 a.m. after you just went swimming with a bunch of people that you want to go on dates with and hang out with. Don't do it. That's
Yeah,
not the time. That's
yeah,
not the
yeah.
time and place. Don't don't do it. If you ever
Bro,
think about that and
bro,
you love
that was way too specific. Rancheritos with people that you just went
dude,
swimming
no.
with
Okay,
that
I
you
heard
want
it's
to date.
no, that didn't ever happen to me. Okay, let me explain why I said that.
Okay, okay.
I heard a story and these girls I know went swing dancing with some guys and those guys and they got along super well and then they said let's go to Denny's afterwards and it was like 1 a.m. and they went to Denny's afterwards and they all sat down and they were ordering their food and they were flirting and having fun as YSAs are supposed to do and then the guys found out they all served in Spanish speaking missions and they
Oh.
all started talking to each other in Spanish and then they asked to pray vocally in Spanish before their meal and ruined their everything for those girls. Like, first off, you're excluding these girls. They don't know Spanish, right? And you're making them feel uncomfortable. They don't pray. You're not wearing a tag anymore, buddy. No one sees you praying and goes, that's normal, right? And I
Yeah.
want to say, and this is my backup of it, what does Christ say about people who pray vocally on street corners?
Yeah, to not to.
To not to. Don't do it. Don't freaking do it. I know how spiritual it was as a missionary to pray in that little taco shop in Mexico every single day with your companion, and you guys prayed before your food, and then you saw miracles. I understand, but there's a time and a place, brother. There's a time and a place.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
dude.
don't do that. Do you have any post mission tips that are kind of goofy like that? Because I feel like the other ones just get too deep sometimes. You
Yeah,
know,
you're right, you're right, you're right. That
like the surface level ones are the ones that are like you really need to conquer those first.
yeah. Yeah, dude. No, that's actually hilarious that you say that because that's why it's a stigma, bro. Oh, just return missionary. It's because you're talking about zone conference.
Yeah,
The frick are you talking? Like no one, like your older brother that already served, he'll be like, "Yeah, I remember when those were awesome,"
yeah.
and that's the only person that's going to be like agree with you.
Well, they'll
Everyone
get
else is just
pumped
going to
with
be
you.
like, "I'm sure it was great,"
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, especially girls, bro. I'm lucky.
yeah. You found your wife so fast, bro. And anyone
And
who knew me right after my mission, bro, they're listening to me saying this and they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, freaking Roy was weird."
yeah, well, that's the thing. I guarantee that I was weird too, but for some reason, Leah just stuck around.
Yeah, yeah, dude. When you go on a date with a girl, bro, after date one, what do you like? Think about how revelation works. You need to receive information, process that information, bring it to God with your answer, and let Him respond. When you go on date one with a girl, don't go pray to God to find out if that's your wife. Don't
Oh,
do it.
yeah,
Don't. Why would you put
yeah.
God in that
Okay.
position?
Okay.
Why would you
I,
put God in that
I
position?
I see where what you're saying is like you're not a missionary anymore. And so there's certain things that now you do in like you do alone. Like
Yes.
you pray in your closet.
Yes.
You don't minister the same way that you ministered on the mission. You're not there to teach doctrine. You're there to support members.
Yeah.
Like you do things differently, and that's another thing. Treat coming home the same way that you treated going out on a mission. Like, okay, that was awesome, but now I'm here.
Yeah.
And
Now I
and
got to
I
change.
I need to change. I need to change the things that I'm doing. I'm not going to get an hour study every day. I'm not going to do that.
No,
It
it's not
first
going to
off, it's
happen.
it's a terrible standard to hold yourself to because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So there's even habits that you need to change for the benefit of the people around you and yourself. You're not a missionary anymore. And it sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Me and
Cry
you
about it, dude.
Me and
Like,
you cried, bawled our eyes in
yeah.
mom's arms when she took our tag off, bro.
Yeah.
Like, like that's
Man, I'm getting
hard.
like, I'm getting,
Actually,
I know I'm getting choked up thinking about it right now.
yeah.
uh,
Like I remember how hard that was.
Yo, what's wrong with us, bro? Why'd you do
One
this?
of us is just supposed to cry, and then we can alternate, bro.
We're both just breaking down over here, bro. Oh,
But like put a period, man. Put a period on that sentence, and then start another one. And
yeah.
maybe these tears are I haven't started another one. Maybe that's what's going on. But
No,
I don't
no.
know.
And that's another thing is you don't need to leave your mission behind. You don't need to leave it behind, but you
Right.
need to start regarding it as sacred.
Right.
Like if you see angels, don't tell everyone you saw angels. Write that in your journal and pray to God and thank him for the opportunity that you had to see angels. Right? If someone asks you about your mission, the best advice that I can give to you is just to say like it was awesome. Did you serve a mission? Turn it around on them, let them talk to you. If you have this passion to talk about missions, ask somebody about their mission. You'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot by being like, let me talk to you about your mission. Like, what did you learn? What kind of stuff did you enjoy? Ask them the questions maybe you wish people will ask you. But
Right.
learn to be like that. Don't throw your mission away, but don't also just give it away like candy. Like just like here's my mission from start to end. Let me tell you
Right.
everything about it. Don't do it. Like hold it sacred. And I think we saw you and I right now. It's very sacred. Like it's something
Right.
that we hold very personal. I touch my chest like where my plaque would be, but it's something that I hold very personal. Um, but when you come back from mission, dude, just learn how to be a human in the best way. Like learn how to
Yeah,
just be
yeah.
a
Well,
person.
yeah.
Don't chastise anybody. Do,
No.
don't, dude. Don't chastise your brother, your mother, your sister, your best friend, your dog. Don't chastise anyone. Don't do it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Well,
You
yeah,
got something?
and I was just gonna point out too, um, bro, just like sacred things that we do in the temple, where while we're in the temple, while we're there with the saints, we enjoy it, we talk about it, we feel that connection with the people around us. I just barely had an experience. Well, no, over and over again. I've got this buddy who I served with, and we'll get together and talk about all the funny things. But then when it comes to these like the zone conferences where we had an authority there and literally changed the directory of our missions, like we go, that was really something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that
It,
and we it's actually impossible to say more than that. It's like,
yeah.
wow,
And
that
then
was
there's just
something.
like a pause, right? Of just like,
Yeah, and you go, yeah, like I almost wish I was back there. And that's it. And he said, I loved this, dude. It was my last day in Guyana. Towards the end of my mission, I was back in Guyana, and he came out to me, and I was leaving, and he was in Guyana, and I was going to be leaving at the end of the transfer. And he just said, Elder Anderson, those were days never to be forgotten. And I remember saying like, yeah, you're right. I
yeah.
we're never gonna forget those days. And that's what it is. It's just days that are never gonna be forgotten. And that's all you can say. And
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah. I would never read love notes that I wrote to my wife over the pulpit in sacrament meeting.
Right.
I I've learned now that there's certain things about my mission I don't just talk about in public. Now, can you talk about it over the pulpit? Dude, if someone hates hearing a mission story over the pulpit, they have a problem. Okay? That's when you're allowed to. Okay? You can talk about your mission over the pulpit. You want to get up there, you want to share about talk about your mission over the pulpit. But you know what makes it cool? If you never talk about your mission, well, you can talk about your mission, but if you never like gloat about your mission and then you randomly talk about your mission over the pulpit, ooh,
Yeah, yeah,
ooh,
yeah.
that's powerful. That's powerful, dude. Not to shout out anyone. I don't want to. Nate Fairbanks.
Yeah. Oh, are you gonna roast this cat,
No, no,
dude?
not roasting, bro.
Okay,
I
okay,
never
okay.
heard him talk about his mission ever.
True.
Most spiritual dude I ever met. He
Yes.
never spoke about his mission. The only way I heard about him about his mission is when other people talked about him.
They
Other people
talked about him on his mission
on his mission. You know who knows about Nate's mission? Probably his mom, his dad, his siblings, his closest friends, his
and his
companions,
companions.
and like that's it. And his wife will know,
Yeah.
but that's it. Like you don't need to bring it up. It's okay.
Yeah.
You serve the Lord, and the Lord is proud of your service. Everyone in the world doesn't also have to be proud of your service.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude. Dude, yeah. And this is also on the mission. Don't let leadership cloud your vision of how much worth
You have.
um you have and other people have especially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that
Dude.
like I remember when I moved up to Provo when you were up there and we went to church. I remember there was a return missionary like a couple months after I got home or I got up to Provo. And he started talking about how he had this experience and I remember it was kind of like vague. And I think he realized like, oh, I don't know how to like talk about this kind of, I don't know if they'll get it. And he started talking about, and then he said something about how he went to his truck, the mission truck, the truck that they had, and prayed and had this experience, whatever. And you didn't serve a stateside mission, but this how it was in South Texas is only the ZLs had trucks.
Yeah.
So you weren't it's not that deep, bro. Like you're home now. First off, you weren't the crap on your mission just because you had a truck. And second, well, that's another thing that
Yeah, it was the way that he told the story was like, so I went back to the truck that we have because at that time I was in an area where we drove trucks. My companion and I both drove a truck. He mentioned like 4 times.
Oh, do you remember that?
I do remember it
Okay.
because
Did
he
I
he
say
mentioned
something?
it.
Did we talk about that?
No, no,
Like,
no, no, no. No, not before, but I remember him being like, this was a time when my companion and I drove a truck. Every other time in my mission, we drove a car, but this time we
right.
drove a truck. And it had nothing to do with the story.
No,
It
it
was
had
just to
hit.
let everybody know that he was, yeah, yeah.
Eventually, I got there.
And I finally got in a truck. It's like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. So there's a tip. Become a member of the church. You know the best thing you can do when you get back from your mission? Minister.
Yeah, dude.
And I sound stupid saying that because I'm not a perfect minister, but if you're willing to chastise somebody about the law of chastity and you don't know how to minister to somebody, but that person's doing their ministering assignments, pull the mote out of your eye, brother.
Yeah, the
Like,
beam, the beam.
yeah,
Yeah,
pull it
pull
out.
that freaking beam out of there,
Pull it out
brother.
because I knew dudes that were really struggling with the law of chastity, even the word of wisdom. They were great ministers. And they were ministers that like helped people come to church and love Christ. Meanwhile, I wasn't ministering.
Right.
All I was doing is being angry about other people sinning, which is not,
Right.
that's not so minister, and
Yeah, like be that guy that you couldn't be this guy on the mission because you had rules. Be that guy that answers a phone call from who you minister to because they're broken down on the I-15 down in Mona and
Yeah.
you drive out there in the middle of the night to change a tire or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
be that guy, dude.
The guy that's just smiling, like, I'll help you with anything. I'll do whatever you need. I'll bring you cookies. Also, another tip here? Here's a little hack. If you're in a YSA and you get a ministering and you're ministering to a girl that you don't think is attractive, would you please like ask her on a date? Like
Bro,
make her
tell her
feel,
she is looks great.
yeah,
Like,
tell her she's
ask her on a
awesome.
date.
Tell her she's great. Like you're not going to find your wife yet, bro. Learn how to
Yeah.
talk to girls.
Yeah.
Like ask her on a date, talk to her, minister to her, be nice to her. If you need to friend zone her, guess what? Girls actually take that pretty well. Guys
They
are the
take
ones
it
that
up.
freak out. Girls
Right.
say they just be like, hey, I think we could just be friends, like and let just be nice. Like learn how
Yeah,
to talk
dude.
to women. That's
Yeah.
the number one thing, bro. Learn how to freaking talk to people because missionaries suck at it when they
Yeah.
get back from their
Yeah.
mission, bro.
Because you literally have a script, the way you
Yeah,
talk to people,
yeah, you
and
have
it's only
yeah,
only applicable on the mission.
yeah, dude. Some missionaries think they're so eloquent, which I don't want to hate. I think missionaries that come back are great. It's just
Me
the weird,
too.
quirky things. It's the quirky
Yes.
things. The quirky. I don't know.
Quirky. Yeah. I think I think that's the thing. They served a full mission. That's freaking awesome, dude. They
Right?
freaking did it. Um, but we're talking from our own experience.
Yeah. The reason we're
Not,
saying all this isn't because we did this right. It's
no,
because we
yeah,
did
right.
this wrong.
Like, yeah, yeah. Like
Right?
it literally took me 18 months
On
to
your
cut
mission.
ties with my girlfriend. 18 months, a whole sister's mission. 18 months. That's a long time. I only had 6 months of no ties missionary work. It was the best 6 months of my life up until that point.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think in the end, if we can sum it all up, be humble. Be humble. Like you're not as great as you think you are. So which means you can be greater. Like don't get down on
Right.
yourself.
Right.
Don't
Right.
push yourself into depression, but be humble because you can be greater. If you think that you're the greatest, you can't be greater than that. But
Right.
if you understand that you're like in the middle, you can be greater. So be humble
That's
so you can
so
be greater.
true. That's
And
so
then
true.
and then the last thing I would say is give everything to Christ. If you this is where I'm going to throw a little like silver lining here. If you have this girl and you're deeply in love with her and she's deeply in love with you and you want to marry her and she wants to marry you and she's promising she'll wait and you believe her and you think that you're going to be able to wait for her da 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 da, figure out how to, and I don't know, that would be new waters for me, but figure out how to not think about her every single day of your mission because you should be thinking about the people you're serving and you should be thinking about your family and the people that are eternally sealed to you already. Those are the people that you should be thinking about, not about somebody that you hope that maybe possibly you can be sealed to eternally. Think about the people that are already your family and about the people you're supposed to be teaching. Like do
Yes.
that.
Yes. So there's a you have now covenanted with Jesus Christ that you are going to consecrate everything
Yeah.
to his work.
Yeah.
And there's not another situation in the world where you can absolutely forget about yourself.
No.
When you get home, you start dating, you get married, you have kids. You have to think about yourself because now they need you.
Yeah.
The the world needs the message. The world needs the message. And you are the catalyst. Be the catalyst.
Yeah.
That's all you need to be. And so forget about yourself. You can do that. You can do that safely on the mission.
Yeah. Forget about yourself. Forget about your culture. Forget about your traditions and become a servant of God, you know? Um, but yeah, and I'm glad we're kind of finishing on this because it's about Jesus Christ. This isn't about
Yeah.
you. This isn't
No.
about how great of a missionary you were or are. This isn't about uh how attractive your girlfriend is and how attractive your spouse is going to be or how much you love your hope to be spouse. This is about Jesus Christ and he is the goat. He's the goat, baby. So I mean, I think I'm cool in on that. Oh, you
It's
got he's the lamb, bro. He's the lamb. He's the goat.
so,
That's
bro.
what I'm talking about. He's the goat. He's the greatest of all time, and you ought to serve him. You ought to serve him.
Yeah, yeah, and I would just say the same thing. Uh, buy in, dude. And I've said that so much, and my wife's probably sick and tired of hearing it. But buy in, dude. Sign your name on that dotted line, and do everything you can um to be who you need to be for Christ. If you're on a mission, that means you're a missionary and nothing else.
Yep.
If you're off your mission and you're looking for a wife, be somebody that a wife would want to be married to,
Yeah.
and nothing else, right? Like
Yeah.
uh, it's not always that cut and dry, but on the mission it can be. And
Yes.
so do that. Like do it, and you're gonna love it, and it's gonna be the best thing that ever happened to you up until that point.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. He's the goat, baby.
needs to go. Do it for him. Do it for him, baby.